Okay, guys. I hope you guys are watching this. We got a quiz tomorrow in class on lesson 6, so I'm gonna try to run through two problems that are on the quiz. First of all, I think you guys know how to divide. I think we worked on it pretty well this week. I wish we had a little bit more time, but we're just gonna go with it, and then we'll see how we do and go from there. All right. I honestly think you guys could do really good on this quiz, and I really hope so because it's kind of your last quiz before your report card. All right. So let's look at this, and I want to look at the first question we're going to look at is which equations can be represented by the model below. So I have an area model below, and when I look at this, the first thing I need to do is I need to find out what problem is this showing. What is it totally representing? Okay, and one way to do that is I know what area is. I know that area equals length times width. So let me get a good color pencil out here. All right, I know that area equals length times width. And what that means is whatever's inside this box is equal to this times that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to write what problem I think I have represented here. Okay, and when you see this on your test, it's going to be multiple choice. So I'm going to do, well, 43, because I have a width, times, I'm going to add this together, and that's going to be 107. And then what I have to do is I have to solve for, I need to solve for this. I need to find the total value. Well, I know that 100 times 43 is 4,300. And then all I got to do is 43 times 7. All right, and I could write it like this to make it a little bit easier on me. Let me erase this right here. This thing keeps popping up on my screen every time I go up here. All right, so 3 times 7 is 21. Carry the 2. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 2 is 30, so 301. So I'm just going to add that right here in my two partial products. I'm going to come over here and write that. So 43 times 107 is 4,601. So my my overall problem wasn't just solving this, but my overall problem was, well, what equations could be represented here? So the first equation that could be represented is 43 times 107 equals 4,601. Well, I also could multiply it the other way, and I could do 107 times 43 equals 4,601. And how we taught multiple times in class, division is the inverse operation of multiplication. So I could do that backwards as well. And I could do 4,601 divided by 43 equals 107. Or I could do 4,601 divided by 107 equals 43. Okay, those are my four options, guys. That's what I'm working on. I'm sorry, somebody was at the door. All right, so those are the four equations that I could have represented out of that one area model. So if I had any of these four, those would be marked correct. I am promising you right now that is on your quiz tomorrow. So study that and look at that, okay? Remember, multiplication and division is inverse operations of each other. Next thing we're going to move on to is and I'm only doing two questions, and this is another thing that's going to be on your quiz tomorrow, okay? And we talked about this all week, and we're going to divide 4,536 by 42 using partial quotients, okay? You go up here and get a nice colored pen. I'm gonna go with this blue. Let's see how this looks. All right, so I'm gonna give myself a lot of room to work. 4,536 divided by 42. All right, so the first thing I want to work on is I want to work on 42, and I'm going to do an estimate. Remember, guys, we started in class. How many groups of 42 fit in 4,536? And I can write that question right here. How many groups of 42, erase right here, fit into 4,536? All right, and I'm going to find that answer by I'm going to estimate. So I'm going to start small and I'm going to do something easy. 42 times 10. Well, 42 times 10 is 420. Yeah, that's nowhere close. So let me go something bigger. Let's try 42 times 100. Well, 42 times 100 is 4,200. Well, that's really close to 4,536. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to write 4,200, and that's what I'm going to subtract. Okay? And now I want to see how I got there. Let me erase this so we're not confusing anything. And I'm going to write this right back over here. And I'm going to know I got there by doing 42 times 100. Well, that means that 100 becomes my first partial quotient. And then what I'm going to do is write that. Make sure you line these place values up. This is really important. And then I'm going to go ahead and subtract here. So 6 minus 0, 6, 3, 3, and then that's it, okay? So then all I got left is I have 336 left, and I want to change my color of my pen. So my next question is I'm going to ask is how many groups, so I'm going to ask how many groups of 42 fit into, or I shouldn't say fit, that should say R, and that should say N, RN 336. All right, guys. So now I'm basically doing 336 divided by 42. All right, guys. Now I'm going to figure my first estimate, and I'm going to work over here now because I'm kind of, actually, I can scroll down. That way I can keep it all lined up a little bit more. There we go. My first estimate is going to be to use 5. So I'm going to go with 42 times 5. 0, carry the 1. That's going to be 210. So that's not quite enough, so I'm going to go to 8. 42 times 8. 8 times 2 is 6. Carry the 1. 4 times 8 is 32 plus 1. 336. So I'm going to move that over here. Minus 336. And then I'm going to write right here, I'm going to do 42 times 8. So right there is my next partial quotient. I'm going to bring that up, and then I'm going to go ahead and subtract and realize I have nothing left over. So I have no remainders, okay? Now, guys, I want to point something out to you. I am really good at math. I still have to work this out. I always try to start with 5 or 10. The reason I always try to start with 5 and 10, and what I mean by that, I'm talking about right here. When I start figuring out what I got to estimate, I do 5 or 10. I knew that 42 times 10 was going to be 420. So I knew that was too much, but I knew 210 wasn't enough. So I guessed the middle number of 8. You could have guessed 7. And that's how I figured it out. That's why estimating is super important. So now let's go back to this and let's just remember, if we have two partial quotients, then we add them together. And then that's a lot of times where you'll see this little line right here on top of this, and they'll write out 108. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you can work on Khan Academy, go ahead and do that. I do want to try to get you guys on Khan Academy again at home. Remember, you're going to sign in with Google. Your email address would be your student number. So my employee number is 100,43223. Okay? Then if that was my student number, I would do at learn.brevardschools.org. That's how I would log in for Khan Academy. This is your Gmail. Even though you don't actually have email, you can log in with Gmail using that right there. All right, guys, if you have any questions, we're right at the 10-minute mark. I'll catch you tomorrow in class. Best of luck. We got school on Friday, no school Monday. I'm working on report cards. I want to give everybody an A, so please study this video and do your personal best tomorrow. I know you can do it. I believe in you.